at
All right.
6:39.
We're going to have to look at that. Because, just what they're coming
First item on the agenda is interview candidate for position of superintendent. I don't think he needs to be introduced.
Yeah.
on. Well, I was going to say you don't need to be in the interview. Go with it.
So we have 11 interview questions. I can ask them all, or we can swap off, however you guys would like to do it.
Why don't you start until you get tired?
All right. You all right with that? We'll just jot down the answers?
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Gray, you know everybody knows everybody. Why are you interested in the position?
Because I have had extensive background in management, water departments, and so forth, and I think that I can take and do a good job and make progress. Make sure that departments run.
I'll give you guys a chance to counter with any questions before I switch to the next one.
Have you managed another department?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was in Alton as superintendent there, and then I went to Rochester, and I worked for Rochester for 15 years, which 6 of it was as a manager for the 3 million gallon a day surface water treatment plant.
Okay. All set, right? Tell us about your educational and professional background and why it qualifies you for the position.
Okay. I started back with the town of Farmington in the water wastewater field, and was there for 8 years. Then I moved on to wanting to take and run my own water system. Then I went to Alton, and I was there for a while, and had an opening coming up in Rochester, and I went there as a operator, and then moved myself up through the licensing process, getting my grade 3 licenses and so forth, which I had to go back to college for a 2-year post-education that's required for grade 3. So I'm in the superintendent or chief operator, as they call him, of the water department. Moved on, they put me in their place temporarily, and then I moved in full time. And then I came here. So I'm working there.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
I'm looking on working for at least another 3-4 years, and then after that I might decide to work part-time in the same position, so 23 days a week or something like that.
So transitioning to a successor?
Yeah.
Describe your work experience in municipal setting. If so, could you please describe your knowledge of general operations of town government? Are you familiar with the open meeting law, the public records law, and the state ethics law? Chapter 268A. Please describe your knowledge of these laws. And would you like to look at the questions so you can...
No. Working in New Hampshire, New Hampshire's regulations as far as that were a little different and so forth. And it's been a while since I've done it, but I had to take and put together a budget. I think it was $2.5 million for the water treatment plant and all that. We used an engineering firm that we had for doing our capital projects and putting the bids and things. So the ethics, I think that's the same everywhere. I mean, we took the classes and so forth. And I actually attended some other college courses in order to better understand some of the issues that we have here. But I fully intend on brushing up on. And since I've been here, I think Rob and I have pretty much had experience with it.
As have we all.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. More open
I
meeting
think-
law, I'll qualify that.
The open meeting law, yeah, and to procure rules and regulations. I've got a couple of online classes I was going to take on, and actually there's a certification for it. So.
Haven't you done the procurement of a couple of trucks
Oh yeah,
here?
yeah.
I mean,
Trucks.
you know the process.
Yeah. Well, yeah. We've had a couple of processes that we were going to get, like the HVAC system that just seemed to come back, and the emergency digging contract that we were trying to work with and stuff. But we learned a lot. That's how you learn.
Any follow-up questions?
No.
The Board of Commissioners typically meets at least twice a month on Tuesday evenings. Are you available on Tuesday evenings?
Yes,
Please describe your experience supervising employees.
And I'll just qualify that a little bit. Like, I mean, you manage people, but some of like the difficult situations you've had to address.
Okay, most of them are, most of it was, I had 6 men. I had 4 tanks, 4 million gallons of water in storage. I also had 6 pump stations, and to manage, and I took care of those, and all the personnel that came along with the surface water treatment plant. So we had to schedule them to work every day, on-call people. When they were off-call, I moved them over to going out to the water tanks and inspections and stuff like that, to give them a break. And we had, I think it was 60 miles of watershed that we had to take care of. As long, and backflow program, we had 2 guys that were running that, kept track of that. And so it was a lot. I attended meetings. The water department was under the public works director, and she had 3 engineers that took on certain responsibilities, such as the engineer that I was to answer to or deal with. He took care of water, wastewater. He took care of roads and buildings. So I answered to him and so forth. As far as discipline, I have an issue with records being altered that went through to a legal process because of the fact that the records not being kept right. And I dealt with the union there, so that grievances and so forth, followed through those, and all the steps.
So you're familiar with the union process?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's it. Water superintendent has a full-time clerical assistant. This is a small department. The water superintendent would need to be a self-starter and be able to work independently. Have you ever worked in this type of independent setting? And if so, please describe your work experience.
There again, I was responsible for that whole department, and I didn't have a secretary, so I had to go along with capital improvement. I answered complaints and so forth. And I took care of almost all of it.
Really what you're doing today.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, no, yeah.
You're doing a lot of this today.
Like I said, this is exactly what you do.
Brought it on, actually.
Yeah, there's three of you that do most of everything.
The water superintendent will be responsible for preparing its annual budget. Please describe your experience in preparing and managing budgets. How do you feel about working in a team setting with the town administrator, town accountant, treasurer, and assessor, and assistant town administrator?
Okay. When I was in Rochester, I had to prepare a $3 million budget, which included projects, capital improvement, and so forth, putting together all of the bidding process and so forth, working with the engineers. And then I had to report to all of the engineers. I worked with them all the time on these projects. I also had to work with the commission, the Public Works Director. We had meetings every week, and I had to go to the meetings, staff meetings, and so forth, report to her. And then I actually had to go to council meetings where they have, I think, had 5 or 6 councils, different boards, and so forth, and answer their questions.
Well, weren't you part of the team here you worked on the budget here, correct?
Yeah,
Which I would say as a team, and
Yeah.
you guys dropped the budget like 2 years in a row.
and there again, the budget that I was putting together and so forth had to be approved by the Director of Public Works.
I'll say this.
Yeah, this is the longest time I've ever stayed quiet.
I know, that's kind of shocking.
So I have a question, because this is all pro forma stuff. We know you very well, and it's kind of like, it's silly kind of dancing around. So I have a couple of questions.
Yep.
One is, what do you see as the 2 largest issues that the superintendent is going to have to deal with over the next 12 months? In Rowley.
In Rowley.
Whatever you think, whether it's a
It's
on the ground or a pipe.
I think that we have a lot of infrastructure that needs to be replaced or so forth. But I feel that it should be planned and carried out over, as projects, instead of just saying we're going to do this, do that, and so forth. I think the other thing is that the infrastructure. We got brand new water treatment plant. Our pump stations are running really well, and they're being kept up very well. And I think that we still need to work on those. There's a couple of things that I'm looking at. To have the system to be able to work without the tank. In case something does happen to the tank, we can swap one of the pump. I believe it would be probably well to have that design that we did in Rochester, the pump either in tank mode or in pressure mode, so that if we had to shut the tank off for some reason, we were able to clean it, paint it, whatever, and take it off plumbing, and we would be able to supply pressure with one of the pump stations instead of the tank. We did that in Rochester. Worked out great.
What it is, if you just put the pumps on, it'll lower pressure. You don't have that relief in the tank. It's the way it works. It's just why he wants to put the valve on.
That's something
That's a great idea. More safety.
And working with the staff, with Rob and so forth, for treatment, distribution, we all still have to do what we were doing before. The only difference is that I don't plan on setting any last. I plan on keeping doing what I'm doing, whether it's last weekend, driving the dump truck and stuff, where it needs to be done. And you'll actually have a superintendent who's out on the plant.
that'd be a novelty.
So the second question is, this is my personal agenda, is we still have the most expensive water in Massachusetts, so what are you, as the superintendent, what are you planning on doing about that?
Okay. I think we need to look at some of the, at the water treatment facility right now. I think the most expensive part of it, and Rob will agree with me, is getting rid of the sludge to keep the plant running and so forth. And I think we need to look into a different way of handling that. And that way, we're not paying to have it hauled away and disposed of. I mean, that's one of the expenses we're having. Maybe I don't see where, we're going to be able to do much with the infrastructure other than maintaining it and so forth until the plant is brought down to a reasonable, or the loan has been, completed. Because I think that there's no way we're going to be able to, add a huge bill out for redoing something or laying pipe. Well, I don't know. Do we have a situation we need to take care of a section of pipe that we're having breaks with constantly or anything like that? Then we'll have to do it. Then let the maintenance. I don't think the infrastructure is really as bad as people think it is. I think that...
Well, it's a relatively new system in water terms.
Yeah. I mean, we're not...
Probably the newest one around. Second 48.
Yeah, which is scary.
And of course, working with you guys on the budget.
So, do one more?
You want to do one more? You're good. Go ahead. Then we'll just go to the last
so
question.
how do we find the new distribution for it?
How do we find one?
Yeah.
Well,
Because it's your...
Did you say how do we replace him?
Yeah, essentially. Essentially. But it's going to fall to you as to find your replacement.
yeah. Well, I think that there was a question that was asked by the person from the state when they did their audit here. And they realized that there's just no help out there. And when the help is available, they've already been in the system for 5 or 6 years. And, I think we need to take and try to... I know a lot of departments right now. I've gotten 3 or 4 postcards and wanting me to go and interview for a position with them. And boy, I tell you, they're reaching out to give you better benefits, more pay, and so forth, retirement and things. But to answer your question, we just have to keep working at it. But I think our process now that we're hiring people with no licensing and giving them training and so forth, the only problem we're running with that is to just not having them fulfill the state's requirements for being an operator for 2 years or 3 years, depending on, or we can actually send them to maybe classes and so forth, so that they can apply for it and try to make a good argument for why the state should give them a license, or give them full license, I should say.
And we'll go to the last question. Do you have any questions for us?
No, I just want to, I went from an operator to a superintendent, chief operator. And basically I was tied to a desk. And I think that with a small department like this, we can't go to having you just sitting behind the desk. We I want to get out, work in the system, and continue what I was doing, still spending all the time I need to get done what I got to do as a superintendent.
Balance the desk.
Yeah, balance it.
And just to cover that last question, this position is on call emergencies, you expect to report to emergencies, are you able to do this?
Yeah.
We knew the answer to that question.
We need to be there. If not, just to support these guys that are working. I mean, I want to put more burden on them.
Thank you very much. You're welcome to stay if you'd like.
Oh, yeah, I will. I'm here.
Don't have to move
But
back.
Rob, I just had to stand.
I think Rob just...
Where'd Rob go?
He got an emergency Dixie.
Oh, did he?
I heard him leaving.
Okay, yeah, because,
Okay, guys.
Ryan, what's up?
Number 2 on the agenda, vote on candidate for position for superintendent. Discussion.
I really don't have much to say other than it was weird questioning someone that we've been working with for 4 years. I've done it in the private sector. A lot of times, you have to do it. So I mean, I was happy when you said you wanted to step up and take this.
Yeah.
I know at this stage you've been there, done that, etc. But it'd be a nice fit, and it's such a small department. But since we had a change 2 years ago, it's been stunning the amount of change. I think you've been an integral part of it. So I'd be happy to.
To be really honest with you guys, my comment on that is you guys ought to be commended on the job that you guys are doing. We're not one of the best board or that I've ever worked with. You guys take a big interest to help out when you want me to and stuff.
You provide your water when you're working in Ohio State of the Year.
Yeah.
No, I know you were in the department before, and you just came 2 years ago, and Bernie, you joined us. And so, I mean, my comparison is the first 2 years was a nightmare.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the selectmen asked me to join and kind of help facilitate change that we have. And it was a brutal situation, but on the dark side and the light side, you've been very consistent, which I think has been admirable. So I would make a motion to accept his application, or his whatever.
Pass it on to the selectmen for appointment.
Yes.
Our recommendation.
Yes.
I second that.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Thank you.
One more vote.
Yeah, that's all right. That process in Rochester too. And I worked there 10 years before I moved up, so I went through the whole thing.
So the next thing on the agenda is vote for amendment number 1 on Prospect Hill tank and valve modification.
I don't have any document. Oh, that's item 3?
Yep.
Sorry.
Do you know anything about this, or is it Rob did?
No, I didn't. No, I mean, I knew that it was billed, and I didn't know that was for.
He just gave me some numbers before he left. So the article was for $190,000. The construction was $110,000, and $37,000 is for the amendment.
What's the amendment for?
I have to read it.
Okay.
I don't know.
I believe the amendment was
It's on the first page.
supervision.
Yeah, that's what they were asking.
It's for the bidding
Services for
process.
bidding, construction administration, and resident project representation, not included in the original agreement dated November 18. Total amount was $35,700.
Yeah, he brought it up.
It's the same thing we did for the paving project. Keep in mind.
I think it's in our best interest to have an engineer there.
Oh, yes.
I know what you guys think.
I talked about this with Rob, and he talked to us off cycle here about it.
Yeah.
He said he had to get the paperwork put together. We told him to get the paperwork put together, so. And what's the amount of money? 37?
$35,700.
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we approve this amendment of $35,700 to retain Taylor Howard as the engineers.
Right, I would just make a note that we should be investigating somebody else besides Taylor and Howard.
Before we do this?
No, not before we could do this, but I mean, we've got to get this moving and get it done. They've done the engineering on the configuration of the pipes and valves at the bottom of the hill. I just don't
I think
understand why.
I think we're due to go out to bid for engineering if, you know, it's not a bad idea to do that every so often.
Yes.
We'll put that onto the superintendent's position to research that.
Right, because this is kind of like an oversight on their part that it wasn't included originally, and that
Right.
doesn't. So I second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
So do you all have to sign this?
Everybody sign your own copy, then we'll pass them around.
Okay.
Just if you're wondering what we're talking about, at the bottom of Prospect Hill where the big tank is, before they built that, there was an intersection, I guess I call it, with a bunch of pipes and stuff. They built the tank, put pipes in, down into the system, and then when the water treatment plant, they put more pipes in there. No one ever made a map. So it is a box of spaghetti, is my exaggeration, but, and we're
So it's something
doing the right
that's
thing
been
is
cleaned up since the 80s.
spending the money to straighten it out.
But it's even worse. There are actually two water tanks up there.
Right.
And the old water tank piping is
It's still there.
That's the one.
And they don't know which piping is which at some point, at certain points.
Yeah.
And they can't work on that section of Havel Street because they don't really know how to control it.
In the maps that we do have, they had marking on this valve's broken shut, this valve's broken open. And,
We've dodged bullets with this map. And like when I first started, you know, the tank had cracks on the outside, and someone's like, "Why haven't you fixed it?" And they're like, "A variety of issues." Like, I don't want Channel 7.
why did they leave the old tank there?
I can tell you exactly why.
I don't know about that one.
The old tank, the way it was built, we had it all lined up when I worked here. The Army Corps of Engineers, they were going to blow it up. We had it all lined up with dump trucks and place to bring the cement. And if you ever see that historical video of them making that tank, they took a look at that and said the explosives that they would need to take that tank down would cause damage in the neighborhood. That's why it wasn't taken down. So, I've lived it, so I know
They
that.
did take it down, didn't they?
No, it's still there.
It's still up there?
It's camouflage. It looks like
Looks like some
Atlantic seawall fortress from
But that's the reason.
World War II.
That's the reason it wasn't taken down, and that was 94, 95 when that was.
Yeah.
Because they, like I said, they had it all, and I worked here, they had it all lined up to do it. It was going to be done on a Saturday, and
That would have been my neighborhood that came into Trowbridge Circle.
yeah, they were more worried about me, about Havel Street, because it's closer to Havel Street.
Oh, I know, but
I'd be more
the backside.
vibration on the existing.
Yeah, the existing tank and everything, yeah, so
But now,
it wasn't feasible to do. I imagine there is ways you could do it.
cut it.
Don't have to cut it.
Well, maybe when we when we get all the other crises managed, we'll look at that.
yeah, because they've got hammers and brake legends and so on.
Yeah, but
It's wrapped with cable, and then
Yeah.
but that meetup or that pit of stuff is just a
Yeah.
nightmare.
I think what we should do is go and survey all the way around it to see if there's any openings that somebody can get into. Right now, there's rope-like vines that you could climb to get to the top.
We should put a fence up around that thing.
We'll just,
At a minimum, that's probably not a bad idea.
Yeah, let's put that on the agenda for next week, the next meeting.
What is that?
Fence around abandoned water tank.
We just hope it's covered with poison ivy. That would-
Well, I mean, legally, it's an attractive nuncence.
Same thing with the reason we're taking the building down, Station 1, which is in the process.
Yeah, so good.
It's, Bob's working on getting the permits, and he actually found the paperwork that, from the state that says it's no longer a water source.
found it upstairs and
It basically, if you read between the lines, it tells us to take the building down.
And can we redevelop that site if we wanted?
you could probably use it for non-potable use. I believe it was in the paper.
That's what the paperwork said.
Non-potable.
If you were to use it as if you were to research it, and you'd have to go through this like you were starting a new breeding
Oh,
ground.
yeah, I don't know.
So,
Okay.
discussion 100 Weathersfield Street. I didn't put this on, so
I didn't understand the letter that they sent.
We talked about that, then he sent what does he call it? A re-advised, needs to be re-advised. So, starting August 10th, we'll move forward from August 10th. They will be making a $300 a month payment, and plus their current due.
So what's due plus 300?
Yes.
They had made that agreement here, and they did find, I went in and found that the interior, it wasn't the water service itself that was leaking. The minute I walked into the basement, I could hear the water running down the waste pipe, and went over and shut the water off and then stopped. So, what happened was by the time they got a plumber in there and so forth, they were almost at the end of the 30 days, and then we had a meter reading, and they had a big bill at the end. And that's why they redid the letter from the lawyer, asked us to start later, because they did fix it, they had it fixed, but they didn't do it quickly.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not looking to put the spike food to death on them. They got it done. Maybe not exactly what the times we look for, but
I would add it to the tax lien if it hasn't been done by tax lien time.
yeah. But I make a motion that we accept their amendment.
I don't understand this summary of this account from Hannah.
That's just showing that there hasn't been a payment made to date.
Right. But the interest charges should essentially reflect the balance. And
So
those
I don't know why
interest
some of the charges don't have interest, have a zero interest. I don't know.
So we should square away this account so we know we should get Panachuk to kind of provide a more clear statement about how much is out there, what the monthly charges, interest charges are, so that we know what this deal is about. I mean,
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. I agree with you, Brody.
so I don't see how we can accept a letter. when
Is that
we
just
don't know what
is that just the interest on the amount? No, because
It looks like it because it couldn't be, it looks like for current due, because
Why is no interest on the 710? That's
$19,000, $1,960, there couldn't be zero interest.
So this is not good from Panachuk.
Okay, so I will call them tomorrow.
yeah. Let's get them to update the bill accurately.
And another thing I was going to do was that every month I was going to do a data logger on their system, just to make sure that they don't develop another leak. So we can pretty much keep track of what they're using.
So they're wanting to fulfill they want and asked to agree to this statement so they can start paying the additional 300. My view is that that's not going to touch the interest.
Yeah, we talked about that the last meeting, and in order to, we really just want to get a payment or a flow of payments from them, and we knew the 300 isn't going to, so we're taking 10 or 15 years. I think we did the numbers last time. That 300 really doesn't really cut even much of it at all, but it's still, if they're going to pay the 300 plus their bill, then I think that, that's what we said. We've really given them a break, letting them just pay along a bit until they sell it, and then they're going to square it.
And then come the end of October, we can tax them the rest of it.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, at this point, the house isn't, as far as I can see, the house isn't on the market, so I don't understand what the facts are of this situation. But to get some agreement, I guess we have to...
I guess the big thing is they actually fixed the leak. So it's not...
We've made a lot of progress. We get the leak fixed.
Yeah.
They've talked to us. We've gotten in there and identified it. We've got a payment structure in place. The lien's there, and then we can do an additional lien if it doesn't.
Do the lien on the remainder amount when the tax lien comes.
Yeah. Yeah, we made a lot of progress.
So you need to make... Did you make...
I did. I made a motion to accept this.
I'll second it.
All those in
With
favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
With reservations. Bernie, I agree with you, but I think, like I said, we got so much. We've made a lot of progress on this. This has been a tough one, and one of the things when I took this job, or I got elected years ago, and Debbie had even said to me, she goes, this has to be administered to your neighbors. So I mean, you balance it between we're a non-for-profit water corporation, which is what we are,
Right.
and we're also selling the water to our neighbors, and sometimes you need to ameliorate a hardcore business aspect of it without getting abused.
Right.
It's tough.
Bob, you got anything on the current and future operations of the department? I know you had a water leak this weekend.
Yep, we're having a water leak this weekend. This is the third time we've dug it out.
That went down to
The first time was on Thanksgiving, and it broke.
The moral to that
Running
story is
into his soil.
you don't leave an old piece of pipe up this thing.
And believe it
I'll
or
leave it at
not,
that.
Okay.
and believe it or not, there was less than a quarter of an inch hole in that pipe for the 100 psi. You'd swear it was broken.
Wow. So, coldest day of the year last year, and the hottest day of the year this year?
You're right.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
Oh, Janet told me
No, it's all
about that. What's that?
Now it's all done.
Is it? Oh, you big chunk.
Yeah. And we're putting plating down now, and any future holes that come up, going to get them paved right away. We're going to put plating, and that way we don't have to keep going back and put more fill in.
And instead of trying to get back and having to get the highway department and stuff, it's going to be part of the contractor's responsibility to do the hot top. The contractor we're using right now has agreed to that.
Right. And by plating it does save work because you don't have to remove the soil. I mean, the fill that you put in, get it down to where you want it to pave it. It's going to be at there where they need to have it, and then put the plate over it. So it's going to save, especially in the wintertime when stuff freezes.
So is this the break that occurred on Plantation, opposite Plantation Drive?
Mm-hmm.
It goes to a private house. It's not to the plantation.
But did Al's fix, was Al's fix, original fix back in the winter? That was a...
Back in the winter when it originally broke, we had repaired it, shut it down, actually, we shut the water off. Ran a hose from one house, his neighbor's house to his house, and kept it running, and so it wouldn't freeze. And then Cadillo came back, and they actually dug and pulled a new service to the house and into the house. Then where they made the connection was at the water main where the shut-off is cord that they could get a hold of to shut it off. And they attached the plastic pipe to that because it was flared fitting, and all the ports that we have now are
So is this on Cadillo or?
No, I mean, I wasn't there when they did it, and we are now definitely going to follow through with complete installation right from the main to our curb.
So I guess I still don't quite understand. We went back and we redid something that should have been done right the first time.
Okay.
Is that fair?
Yeah,
After the meeting, I'll take you all back and show you the fittings we were talking about.
yeah, we did.
But whose decisions were in the process? I mean, did we make bad decisions?
It probably looked like that was the thing to do, but it shouldn't have been done. It should have gone right to the court to answer your question. So
Let's put it this way.
it's
I
not
wouldn't have
that
done it.
And I wouldn't do it.
So, but who did it? I mean, was it Rob? Oh, Cadillo.
We were on site. We were on site and kind of did the work.
So it was.
Do you still have a piece of pipe?
I don't know if I do. So, to answer your question, whoever was there, should have
made a better decision.
Right.
All right.
Anything else?
Yeah, two things. Rally Talks, there was somebody was asking questions about the water ban and why we signed water and so on and so on. I really took it verbatim from our webpage and put that out there as an
Did you
answer.
see the article yesterday?
No,
The Report News?
no.
We put out a press release at the beginning of the week, last week,
Yeah,
on both of those subjects, the Georgetown.
that's what I put.
And they never put it in the paper. I answered, Michelle Marshall sent me a long email, I sent us all that email, and I answered it, asking questions and what's going on, and I answered them. And if you read the article in the Report News yesterday, under the Raleigh News, she was pretty accurate as to what I told her.
Oh, okay, good.
So I couldn't complain.
And the connect that they had was an emergency in the connect, and it was approved by DEP as an emergency in the connect.
Well, that's what I wrote to people. The DEP asked us to work with Georgetown.
They all did. I mean,
And I copied pretty much what the press release was on the website. I was going to say, read the website, and Jan's like, don't do that. I'm like, all right.
a few years back, DEP did a big push on actually having towns agree to. They wanted the interconnects for that reason.
Obvious reasons. I mean, we found out back in the mid-'80s why you needed interconnect, because our one well site was unusable for about 5 years until it got cleared up. And
But we tried to head that
Georgetown
off.
supplied water for approximately a year, if my memory serves, because they had to engineer. They first had to find a location, had to engineer it, and then actually build Station 3.
Wow. Okay. What was the other item?
Georgetown is just continuing, right?
Yeah, it's they're installing a new well to replace the one that failed, and they're going to be rehabbing both their other two wells to try to get better. So as far as the permanent interconnect, no, it's not going to. At least with that, I mean, it would be ideal to have that in there for the benefit of both us and George. Because it does make a big difference in the middle of the winter where you've got to go down and just turn a couple of switches on and get water or give water and not have to go through the process to do it.
Yeah. Well, it's something that after their emergency's over, we can talk.
Yeah, I mean, it's
long-term
yeah,
financial.
yeah, I mean, it's kind of like business. That's more question.
So how's Keith doing? Is he getting moving in terms of?
I have no idea. We just make sure that they're doing what they're supposed to be doing with their home.
No, you asked about Keith.
Oh, Keith. Oh, I'm sorry.
You know,
Keith, yeah. No, I thought you were still talking about George. I'm
Sorry.
He's doing good. He really is. He's picking stuff up. Today, I sent him out to do a couple of meter reads for closings, and he had no problem doing them, finding where he's supposed to be going and stuff. So he is working on his CBL, which
He's actually studying the book when I came in the other day. Good.
he's studying the book and working with it and so forth. And then once he gets his permit, then we can actually take him out on the road. But until he does get the permit, we can't take him out on the road. So.
Now, what's he gonna have to do to get this New Hampshire for a truck?
I believe we borrowed a truck from that for
Is that
Tron.
okay for New Hampshire?
Yeah. Doesn't make any difference for the truck insurance as long as it's commercial vehicle. And we gotta make sure it's insured.
Anything else?
Oh, I can't remember what it was, so no.
Oh, Rob? Minutes.
So I got a set of minutes, draft minutes. They're different from these, right? The ones that came across.
Pardon?
You sent a set of draft minutes,
Yes.
but they're not in here.
They're not in there?
Well, there's two of them here.
Right, I sent the 11th, like last week, and the 25th today.
Oh, all right. So I'll make a motion to accept the minutes for June 11th as presented.
A second.
All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Before we get to the next set of minutes, I remember what it was. And Kathy had sent me a note. We went back and forth. I tried to catch up with Tara. I just said I'd talk to her. And she had some issues when we were asking about them implementing controls and whatnot to tell us about any accounts that were in arrears so significantly. We get surprised. And so we're back and forth last week, and then she sent me a note Friday. She's going on vacation. I said, have a good vacation. I'll talk to you when you're back. It's not critical. No. But I just wanted to...
We should invite her in sometime when we get a chance.
We did.
We did.
And talk about that and talk about the redesigning of the bill.
So when I talk to her, I'll just say, we just want you to come in. And it's time for you to do an annual show your face, and we'll see you.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
And if she could have some proposals for redesigning the bill.
Okay. So what I asked Kathy is to tell you guys that I take that one in case you
That's
just
works good for me.
share the burden, and
That's how that's why this board's working so well, is because we take turns doing things.
I would just say that as and when the superintendent is on board, you should sit down, because there are a slew of reports that Pennachuck can provide. And the issue is, we don't see, many of them we don't see, many of them we don't know.
I don't think they're spelled out in the contract, though.
there's a huge long list. They'll give us a list of them because they've done it before. The issue is if we're going to ask for a new one, let's make sure they don't have to do all the ones that nobody has ever paid any attention to. But that's, I think it's up to the superintendent to basically make
So maybe, assuming things will be moving ahead the way we want, maybe I'll let you take care of that, Tara, instead of sticking my nose in.
But we should work out, make sure we've got priorities which include timeliness of who isn't paying their bills, who's receiving bills for pennies, they shouldn't be.
I think half the problem is nobody to talk.
Yeah.
I mean, I ran into something this week, actually last week, that the project for the bottom of the hill went out to bid and had a bid opening before I even knew it happened.
Yeah.
And I wasn't too happy. And Kathy got the email, but she thought everybody else got the email, so it didn't get passed on. But that's a sign of why we don't have a head person to be the contact.
Yeah, and I think, yep.
So who got the bid? Who got the what?
We haven't awarded it to anybody yet.
No, not
There's
Cardillo.
the
He was
low
the lowest
bidder at this
bidder.
point.
But that was a shame. I really feel badly about that. I just can't imagine why someone would send that information to an admin without the board or anyone else knowing.
How many bids did we get?
there was 4, and none from in the area. I didn't recognize, the only one I recognized was Cardillo. And
So that's the $120,000,
Was it 120? 99.
99.
99,000. The others were, I believe, in the range of 130 to 160,000.
160.
I wonder how you can have such a big fluctuation. Well, look at the fire and police station. The contract that they took came in $1 million less than what was appropriated. And someone came in and over. You know? And I can honestly say that we're very happy with the way everything's come out.
It's good. Should be. When's the official opening?
They already had it.
Yeah, you missed it.
But you're welcome.
So I make a motion to accept the June 25th minutes as presented.
Second?
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Make a motion. Oh, what's the next meeting?
Next meeting will be, see if I have my calendar because I just haven't even phone. I don't know if it transferred over or not.
We do like August 12th.
Yeah, because I tried to skip this meeting, but the 20th works for me.
Yeah.
Can skip the 6th?
Yeah.
Is that good with you? And hopefully we'll have a superintendent on board. And
Do we need to do anything else after the selectmen do their thing?
I got sprayed by the PD, but I really got nervous when they said I had to, I said, they're not going to shoot me too, are you? Police department.
unless there's something that comes up, which was the plan for this meeting.
Excuse me, so Mark, you said August 20th, we're going to skip the 6th?
Yes.
Okay.
Like I said, we tried to do it last meeting, but hopefully this will work this time.
So what was the emergency dig center?
I don't know what street it was on. He didn't tell me what it was about.
Was it water or?
Yeah,
So you want to make a motion to adjourn?
I don't think it was water, was it?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye.
And,